What is up, RotoGrinders? Welcome to Friday. Just a six-gamer right now. 2 hours. 2 hours of nonstop NBA DFS conversation, taking y'all straight up the lock. 7 o'clock on the East Coast. Your eyes are not deceiving you. It is myself, Kirkwood, Head Chopper. The double secret probation that wasn't really a thing is actually lifted. We're back. Mortimer, let's do it. It's going to be, we're all going to be on our best behavior. It's Head Chopper. Chop, you are a returning champion. You were here yesterday. Welcome back. Happy Friday.
Happy to be back, Dean. Back to back. I'm on zero rest. Back to back. So I'm gonna go through the whole show though. You know, they're not gonna have to limit my minutes. I'm good. And plus we got Kirkwood here. He can take over like all the hard lifting here. You know what I'm saying?
Chop's an Iron Man. So
yeah, Dean. Didn't you see my Discord post, Dean? I've been on FanDuel since 2009. That's pretty amazing, Dean. So
you were one of the original chatters on FanDuel, right? I imagine. I feel like you were. For real.
I had to be, right? I mean, I had to be. Like, I remember, Dean, FanDuel when it first came into existence. I remember that. And this guy was trying to get me over there, and and little did I know he was doing the whole rake thing, where if you sign a guy up, I didn't even know that.
Rakeback was
you made that dude millions, by the way. If they didn't cap it, I don't know if they cap it or not, but like he must have made somebody a lot of money.
He made a lot of money off me. But it is what it is, Dean. We just gotta be careful. We'll walk on eggshells here. It's a small slate, but we got to be careful. We don't want to mention the Dean 96, doing the 96 his first time. Nothing like that. We got to be careful here what we do. We got to, 6-gamer. We just got to stick to business here.
Yeah, we got a 6-gamer. We got plenty of time. Of course, the day after the All-Star break. The All-Star break is coming around next week. But I'm talking about the day after the trade deadline. Because of that, there's still some shuffling pieces, some that are in flux, some that are going to be playing, some not so much. And maybe the league took it easy on us because I think there's a bunch of games tomorrow. Also, they tend to not have a lot of basketball games on Super Bowl. Oh, on the big game Sunday? I don't know if I can say whatever. Yes. Yeah.
Strike one.
Well, no, it's called whatever. The big game is going down on Sunday, and they tend to not run a lot of basketball games. I've not checked the schedule, but I imagine there's only a few out there. I know there's always some fun props. So you can kind of cross sports stuff too. I have not dug into that just yet. We have Tyrese Maxey, a midday downgrade as far as his illness. He had an illness last game. He played through it. And if you watched it, he looked like a dude who ate the fish because he was horrendous. It was not good. Do we have any idea how well he's feeling today? No clue. It is a couple days later, but he was an absolute disaster. Zion's got that foot, so he's questionable. Giannis Antetokounmpo expected to play. He's got a knee. They desperately need a win. They have the right opponent for him because I think Doc Rivers is now 1-5 now. It's getting kind of embarrassing there. Front end, back end stuff. Let's see, back end of a back-to-back. It is Milwaukee, it's Denver, and it's the Lakers. And of course, the Lakers stars, no surprise, they're in the late game and they are questionable. And maybe they might be real questionables. Who knows? We have no idea. Typically, LeBron and Davis, they both play through it, but we'll see. And it's kind of a split slate in that 4 games are early. 2 games are late, 1 in the 7 o'clock spot, 2 in the 7:30 spot, and 1 8 o'clock. And we got to wait a couple hours. Denver, Sacramento, New Orleans, and the Lakers. Yeah. Hawks, Sixers, Wizards, Rockets, Raptors, Hornets, Pelicans, all on the front end. Again, I believe tomorrow is really, really loaded with a bunch of games. Other injury stuff that we got to keep an eye on. That I mentioned Tatum. It's an island game for Boston. They tend to do their goofy stuff on island games. But Tatum is officially questionable with an illness, and do they really need him tonight? Probably not, because Washington is horrendous. That is one of the earlier games, so theoretically we will get news on that. Producer Steve did drop the poll in chat for the people. Who is winning on Sunday? Is it the Chiefs? Is it the 49ers? I actually just made my bet today. It wasn't really strong. I got to bet it. Like, how could you not bet it? It's a Super Bowl, right? Just sort of obligated. But do we have a take here, Kirkwood? Do you have an official Kirkwood take? I know you were talking about pre-show how somehow you were blaming me for a loss you had the other night, and then you didn't talk to me and you won something. So you were doing some sort of a small sample size math that maybe I am the reason why you either have a good night or a bad night.
This is true. It always seems to come around. There's always one X factor that I never seem to look at enough, and it's you. And I told you about the play, and you said sharp play, and I said I think it's probably a square play, but and then I lost. But then I didn't talk to you yesterday. I went 2-0. I felt like the Nuggets were a lock, but even though they got a little dicey there, I kind of smelt a rat in that line, but I took it.
Yeah.
And then and I bet the Mavs. I mean, I knew Brunson wasn't going to be playing unless he was faking from the other night. Team watched the game, so I hammered the.
Why would he fake? I saw you write that in chat. Why would you even throw that out there? Like Brunson, he's like one of the toughest dudes in the league, and like
it's just saying that it's ludicrous. It's saying there's no reason for him to play this game. He's not playing this game, is what I was saying, and I'm 100% on that. Unless the only thing that would be if he was faking. It was just. Do you get it? You either get it or you don't get it.
It's like a non-zero chance, I suppose, but it's like 0.0001% he's going to fake an injury to come out of a game. But
long story short, I was saying he was definitely not going to play this game.
Yeah, I didn't think he would play either because the injury looked pretty bad.
Yeah, and it's before
who's winning? Who's winning the big game on Kirkwood on Sunday?
So I'm all over the place on this, and I'm gonna hammer it, and I shouldn't, but I mean, it feels like the fish play is the Chiefs. It feels like everybody I know everyone has the same thing. It's Patrick Mahomes versus Purdy. Purdy looked awful in his last start, in the first half, and it's just fresh in everyone's brain. Mahomes, the thing about Mahomes is if Zay Flowers, who's also in legal trouble at the moment, if he gets across the goal line, they probably win that game, the Ravens, if he didn't fumble there. But it feels like the fish side, but like I still have that same feeling. So right now I'm leaning fish. I read the Billy Walters article. Did you read that?
I just saw the headline. Apparently he's betting a small bet of $1 million on
500 to $1 million,
City.
small pocket change for him. He's not a professional anymore. He has it that he has the Chiefs favored by 2 points. They should be. Now he's notorious for throwing off the line, but he said doesn't do that anymore because he's not deep into it these days. So right now,
Tatum officially in, by the way. Jason Tatum officially in.
I'm leaning Chiefs, but it doesn't feel good. It feels like I'm on the fishy side.
Chopper?
Dean, here's my breakdown for you, Dean. All year long, I have been on the 49ers as the best team in the NFL. No doubt about it. Like, that's been my thing all year. And it's really weird to do a 180 just based on the last two games. But, man, from what I've seen, it's going to be hard for that defense to they just got Mahomes just has such a control over the game that it's hard to beat that, Dean. So I think I'm leaning towards the Chiefs. And yes, everybody I've seen on TV, in chats, everything says the Chiefs. So it's super
your parents, fishy. Like even my mother's like, oh, it's Patrick Mahomes. It's like
it's so fishy.
Is that how she sounds? Is that
no,
voice?
That was a bad impression.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I bet KC as well. And our poll is saying KC also. We didn't put the line in here. We just put like who's going to win the game, but KC's a dog anyway. And still 61% of the people here in chat currently, as more people vote, we'll get a bigger sample size. 61% are on Kansas City.
I think by Sunday they won't be a dog anymore.
It's already moved to like a coin toss essentially.
Probably. So it was 2.5, and now I'm seeing 1.5. Some places 2, some other places.
Okay,
it's interesting. It's Mahomes versus Purdy and a much superior team. Like there's not there. It could come down to an MVS catch, like he made last week, and him.
I don't like my chances if that's the case.
Yeah, like
I don't want to be in the Kansas City side now.
Like things went right for them, and also I think there's a big coaching mismatch, at least from the defensive coordinators, and I think Andy Reid probably has a leg up too from a coaching standpoint. So
is Sky Moore going to play? Not that that's a big deal, but is he a guy that's actually going to get in the field? I know that's something that's not. I've been following this.
He's awful.
He's talented at least, but he's really raw.
Can't catch.
But like when you compare how good do you have to be to surpass some of these Kansas City receivers, or just give the ball to Kelsey and Rice and that's it. Just give it to those two. and Pacheco, and we're good to go. But like the matchups, if you're going around position by position, certainly Mahomes is the best quarterback in the game. But otherwise, San Francisco has better units probably, mostly every other position essentially. It is a tricky predicament, but yeah,
I think we got
is the play.
I forgot to mention too. We should all give a big congratulations to Chop. Not only did the Cowboys kept their stand with McCarthy, but they've added Zimmer now. So we've got some 2 pound the ball coaches here. Right. Good luck next season.
A great coaching staff if they were playing in like 2003.
I like that hire, Dean. I like that hire. I do. I really do. First of all, I'll be honest with you. I love coaches that used to be good coordinators that went off to be head coaches. It didn't work for them, but then they go back to being a coordinator. They're just better after they've experienced that. So I don't mind that. And so I think he's definitely going to bring a lot of discipline to them and some things that they really need. And I can almost guarantee you that run defense will not be that susceptible. So I don't mind that hire at all. Yeah, I know Kirk's doing the thing, making the jokes and all that good stuff. Actually, that hire at all. So it is what it is, man. There's just not much you're going to get out there once all the really good assistants got rated. So you do what you got to do. But yeah, we'll be all right, Dean. I just couldn't get over, like, the only thing I heard from that whole monologue you gave was Dean likes units in San Francisco. You like the San Francisco units, Dean. What are you showing?
I was talking about the offensive unit, defensive unit.
Of course.
Not Randy Johnson. Nothing like that.
I hate it, man. I really do. I hate it when people say, yeah, but okay, let's compare wide receivers. These wide receivers are better than these guys. And let's compare the defensive line. Well, the Frisco defensive line is better. I don't like that.
Well, you got 2 weeks, and people got to fill in time. I saw a thing. I don't watch on ESPN, but I saw ESPN. It said coming up, can San Francisco afford to be down in the game? Like, this is a topic we're talking about. Like, what are you going to say?
Here's what I saw. No offense to these guys, Dean. No offense to them. Like, I don't want to say it. But I saw something today. It caught me on my Twitter. It just came up on my feed. It was I forget his name. One of the guys I know on Twitter, Denny Carter. You know Denny Carter?
Yeah, Roto.
And what's the other guy he does the show with? Now, I don't want to offend these guys. Don't want to offend them, but they're in Vegas, and they're like doing shows out there in Vegas, like, Roto World shows. Respectfully to these guys, respectfully, Dean, what does Roto World have to gain by sending these guys out there to do on-site in Vegas show, like, content? It doesn't. I don't know. Just me. I'm not a businessman, Dean. I don't run the business. I don't. But respect those guys. Then their hustle, getting the free plane ticket and all that good stuff.
All right, there you go. I'm pulling up his Twitter account now, and it's some clicks. He got your click. That's something they had to gain, and probably other people's clicks as well. But
how electric would it be if RotoGrinders sent Kirk and Chop to the Super Bowl?
Oh man, wait, why?
My goodness.
Why you two? Like just
let us interviews, because we get to the heart of the good questions that people want to hear from the interviews, Dean. We don't do the whole schmoozing thing with the professional athletes. We'll give you what you want to hear. Give you straight up what you want to hear, Dean.
What do the people want to hear that's not being asked?
Send me to the NBA All-Star game, Dean, and I'll ask Josh Giddey the tough questions. You know what I'm saying?
I will too.
We'll ask the tough stuff.
We might even catch him. We might even set him up and catch him.
Catch him. Chris Hansen on him.
We are going to do the little setup here before we do, little breakdown before we dive into a little game by game deal. Somebody in chat was saying Anthony Davis is not questionable. He is questionable. Hit the refresh as of like 45 minutes ago, 45 minutes or so ago. He was questionable. They gave him several body parts. They gave him both a hip and Achilles. Surprisingly, somewhat, D'Angelo Russell expected to play. They gave him that tune-up, whatever they call it. It was like a tune-up before he was potentially going to get traded. He never got traded, so he's still sticking around. LeBron and Davis, again, both playing late, both officially questionable. I assume they play, but you never know. Russell's right there, playing accordingly. Zion, we talked about him being questionable with his foot. Jonas Valanciunas, he has that calf. He left his last game. He's also questionable, so several bigs are questionable. And Najee Marshall. Do not want to forget Najee Marshall. He is questionable with his back. All right, so Lillard, I guess, is the key one also. Dame is questionable with his ankle. We have not seen Middleton for several games as well. Pat Bev available to play per Pat Bev. I think he was like trying to tell the other guy you got traded for to go ahead and get your physical. He's good to go tonight. Buddy Hyde available to play tonight for Philadelphia. Chopper, they might actually need him because they are short on bodies. I did see that, again, Tatum was in, but Springer not available. Not that it matters so much, but I guess he's not going to be playing tonight for Boston. Jaden Springer, they just traded for him. Give me the overview here, Chop, as far as tonight's slate. I'm running some optimals. Amen Thompson, your boy Amen Thompson on your Rockets is really way too cheap. He's going to be the most popular play on the slate. Hard not to play him. Rui is going to be really popular for Washington. And shout out to Squirrel. Squirrel was talking about him for several days. He's a few days early on him, but they're going to need him because they traded away Gafford. Washington is terrible. They're thin on the inside, especially. They traded for Rashawn Holmes. He is not expected to be available. And, of course, Marvin Bagley, who, by the way, just a heads up, Marvin Bagley is going to be like a 7K player soon. That's going to happen because he's going to be the guy in Washington, I think, and play 30 minutes or so a night. Can't play him tonight, though, because he is out. But, yeah, Chop, what do you got? Give me the overview before we do the old game-by-game deal.
Yeah, I don't know why Philly traded for Buddy Hyde and then, then went off and made some other trades that didn't make any sense. They should be selling pieces right now, Dean. They should be selling pieces and tanking and trying to get a good draft pick. They stink. But anyway, now we got Buddy Hyde stuck out there in Philadelphia, I think. So whatever. Embiid's still out. LaMelo Ball, those are two big names that have been out for a while now. So, but we can still reap the benefits of that. Van Vliet, Capella, Middleton, and Zion are the guys who are going to be out tonight that are more recent that you're going to extract some more value from, and we'll get into it game by game. But I think there's some pretty good value here, and like last night was just disgusting. All right, just filled with too much value, Dean, just too much. I mean, winning scores were like ridiculous in the 450s and stuff, something crazy. But tonight will be a little bit more tamer, but there's still value out there.
Yeah, I thought I had a pretty good lineup, and then it got chased down. But that's how it goes. And I was on my soapbox about how DK having like really, really strict pricing about a month or so ago. It's been severely loosened. Probably needs to be tightened up a little bit over the All-Star break. We'll see. FanDuel's still really tight. Still really tight over there in FanDuel. What do you got here, Kirkwood? What are you looking at as far as the landscape? How do you feel about Chalk Amarui? Chalk Thompson feels really, really good to me. Zion is super cheap on DK, assuming he plays. Of course, that's a late game. And I think Russell's kind of an interesting piece just because maybe you can get a little value if either LeBron or Davis sits. And he's fine as is. Just kind of something I'm thinking about as far as making lineups. But where are you at? Give me the overview, Kirky.
Yeah, I got a screaming kid here, so hopefully that doesn't come through. But Chalk Amarui, he's the worst piece of chalk I've seen this season.
Yeah?
I think so. Other than that, I think there's some good chalk. I think our man Amen Thompson is fabulous chalk. I don't know. There's some really good games here, right? The Sixers have been playing horrible basketball, without Embiid from a defensive standpoint. They get Atlanta, who, super fast pace. I think there's a lot of fantasy goodness there. I think Denver Sacramento is pretty interesting for some plays. There's a lot of different ways you can go. There's also a lot of blowouts that could potentially happen. It's going to be tough with what do you think is going to happen in this Charlotte-Milwaukee game? You think it's going to be just Bridges, Cody Martin, and Brandon Murray, and then Giannis? Call it a day.
Yeah.
Or...
I mean, Bridges now has gone back-to-back games where he scored over 40 points. He's been phenomenal. The price is certainly catching up. I don't know if Lillard's going to play or not. I think he's interesting if he does. And Giannis, I think there's a chance Giannis literally scores 50 points in the bucket, just dunks all over whatever's left of Charlotte.
Of course, he's going to take out his, getting locked down last night, and there's a lot of dysfunction in their team right now, and it's like, remember when we all bet on Dame because Dame had the Halliburton. It was his first game against Halliburton, the revenge. We all thought it was going to be Dame, but we just Giannis reiterated that this is his team. He took over. He wouldn't pass. He just went to the hoop every single play. I think that's what we're going to see tonight because no one's going to be able to stop him on Charlotte.
Charlotte looks like they have 10 guys. Like they have Nick Richards on the inside. Of course, Mark Williams is not walking through that door anytime soon. Probably doesn't play the rest of the season. They did trade for Davis Bertans, who's got some size, but like he's just a 3-point guy. I really think that Giannis just, I mean, blowout could be the thing, but this is a team that's lost like 5 games in a row or something like that, Milwaukee, since Doc has taken over. But it certainly feels like a get right spot for the Bucks. We'll talk about it, but yeah, they're really, really thin on the inside. Like we're talking about Mensa, JT Thor, who's like way too skinny to even consider trying to lock down Giannis. It really feels like an amazing spot for Giannis. So we'll talk about that. By the way, a quick question, small sample, right? You mentioned about the chalk that's going to be Omar Rui. 143 minutes he's played this year, Kirkwood. I'm putting you on the spot. 143 minutes. What do you think his fantasy points per minute are on DK? Is Kirkwood with me?
All right, shoot. I got a crying kid here.
No worries.
I don't know. I don't know what is.
There's 2 ways to go with this. You can either go really low or really high, but I'll tell you, in 143 minutes, Omar Rui's got and understand he's played with probably a lot of stiffs and not so much a lot of Kuzma, but 27% usage, 1.46 fantasy points per minute on the season, which is really, really good. That's really, really solid. I think we're expecting him to start. I don't know if he has to start. There's a chance Kuzma starts the 5. They go small here, especially if Tatum's going to play, right? Yeah, so we're starting Omar Rui at the 5 and Kuzma at the 4, but I think it's pretty. I mean, it's fragile. And there's other players that they can play, but they don't have a lot. Anthony Gill is another big they have. You can go smaller against Boston, I suppose. And by the way, spoiler: Porzingis is going to destroy this. I don't know how much vengeance he has left for Washington, but he's going to annihilate this team. Feel really, really good about Zinger. I wanted to get some of his props earlier, but I couldn't find any because they were still waiting for the Tatum stuff. Chop, you got anything else before we kind of dive in and talk about this game by game? We got 6 games, plenty of time.
Nah, Dean, how can you hear me, Dean? Am I doing pretty good on the volume?
Yeah, you're a little bit low, but I can hear you.
Okay, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna duck out real quick, Dean. I'll be right back, but you keep it going. Yeah, we're ready to go, man. All right.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm good. My better half just got home, so we're good with the kid now.
We are in shambles. We're good to go.
Stuck in traffic.
That notorious Boston traffic. I've heard about it.
So bad now. You have no idea. It's so bad now.
So Brandon in chat says, "Give me a prize." Well, you know what, Brandon? You got a chance to win yourself a prize. How do you go about doing that? You get yourself into the live stream chat channel. How do you find that? RotoGrinders.com/Discord. Go into the live stream chat channel, and producer Steve just has a message that says, "This message." Click that RotoGrinders emblem. Click the logo. You're gonna get your name thrown up on the board. The wheel's gonna be spinning in about 35 minutes or so. If your name pops up, you get yourself 1 week free of RotoGrinders Premium. And for the record, it's not just basketball. That's not just like the stats. It's everything. It's the bells. It's the whistles. It's the optimizer. Every sport you could think of. NASCAR is a la carte, but everything else, MMA, PGA, all the goods. All right. Again, jump into the live stream chat channel, rotogrinders.com/Discord. Click that button. You are eligible. We're spinning it in about 30, 35 minutes or so. Kirkwood, let's do it. We got Chop coming back in momentarily. All right, Chop is back. There you go. I was not watching the camera, but Atlanta and Philadelphia. This is one of the best games on the slate. It's the only game at 7:00, but I don't think you can flat out ignore this one. I love it. It's high and it's tight, right? 247. Atlanta on the road is a 3-point favorite. We will have this news. I hope we'll have this news, but Philadelphia is notoriously terrible when it comes to reporting injury stuff. But Tyrese Maxey is not feeling well. He had the fish. He was horrendous the other day, presumably because he was not feeling well. How do you quantify how he's feeling today? You can't. I don't know how to do that with projections, but I'm just a little bit cautious. Midday downgrade as well. Buddy Hield available to play as well. Campaign also available to play. Certainly no Melton. Maybe he comes back soon. No Embiid. No Batum. Let's start on this side here, Kirkwood. Maxey, if he's in, he projects really well. If he's out, there's a lot of usage to go around.
Yeah, sure is. I think, Tobias is a lock, right? Like he's gonna be running the entire offense, and he may even be forced into point Tobias tonight, right? Like, what are they? So let's say Maxi's out. What are they going to do?
So, like, Campaign is a point guard, but he's brand new to the team, so they're not going to give him the keys right away, right?
I would imagine. I'm thinking it would be point Tobias, but
I don't disagree with that assessment. I think that sounds about right. And like Buddy, they're not going to give it to him right away. He would never. He's not a point anyway. But just I'm trying to think.
I mean, I think he could play a bunch of minutes because he'll be out there just to shoot. You know, I could see that happening. Kelly Oubre is probably going to chuck a lot in this game.
Terquavion Smith is somebody that projects really well. If we don't get Maxey on the if-then, he's getting 26 DK points, 28 minutes, 25 FanDuel points as well. I'm pulling up the if-then stuff, and like everybody, not everybody, but Payne, Harris, Smith, Oubre, Hield, they all come off to some way as a positive value. KJ Martin is kind of sort of a somewhat interesting pivot away from Paul Reed. If you think Paul Reed is going to get in some kind of foul trouble, he certainly has that on his on his resume. That happens on occasions. I would consider him maybe for deep tournaments. KJ Martin is like a small ball 5. They don't have, they have Bamba as well, but just sort of throwing that out there. But like if Maxey's in, I'm a little bit hesitant because he seems like a guy that just like wants to give it a go and he's going to tough it out. I guess he's going to be feeling good enough to play. I'm just a little bit thrown off by it. Oubre's been terrible, but he has to play a fair bit of minutes, especially if Maxey's out. I really like Paul Reed. I think he's going to get a minutes bump. He's probably coming back from his illness. I like both centers in this game immensely. I like him a lot. What else you got, Kirkwood, as far as the Sixers before I throw at the chop?
Terquavion's kind of interesting if it does break right for him because he's like a scorer. He was back in college. He was in preseason. I remember him from a little preseason. Chop may know a little bit more about him too. So I'll Chop knows college ball better than myself, so I'll give it up to him. But I remember Terquavion Smith in summer league, and he was a scorer, so that could be interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Chop, what do you got?
Yeah, I think that was the NC State kid, and he could score, man. He could score. So, if you get Maxey out, that's good. You mentioned Paul Reed. Paul Reed's probably my favorite play in the game. All things, or on DraftKings at least at 5,800. 65 on FanDuel's not as tempting, but that is what it is. From there, Okonwu is a good play for me. Tobias is like, he's just been going off, man, with Embiid out. So you got that going for you. Then you have a lot of nice pieces there. Like you mentioned, Oubre, DeJounte, if he plays, is solid. Jalen Johnson at 7,400 on DraftKings. That's the price I'll pay. I'm not going to pay 81 on FanDuel, but this guy has 50-point upside, and he's shown it a lot this year. Like he's shown it. So those are my favorite plays, and the rest of it is like, I could probably do without.
Chop, do you think Murray's going to play tonight? What do you think? The assumption was they were holding him out. They gave him this fake back injury because he was going to be traded, but he never was traded. But yeah, do we expect him to play tonight? And what does that do if he does not play?
Yeah, I think he plays, but if he doesn't play, then I don't really know. Then I misjudged the whole situation. But I would assume he plays.
We got the news. Campaign is starting.
Wow, there you go.
They have a good chance to start, according to Coach Nurse. So that means. So doesn't that mean there's a good chance Maxey's not playing?
Yes, that's what it means.
Right. So Reed, Harris are starting.
Man, Harris is a lock button then.
If Hield and Payne are starting, the only other player that wouldn't start that like we have starting right now is Kelly Oubre, and again he's been bad. So like maybe they start Maxey, Hield, Payne, Harris, Reed. It's pretty small, but also like Atlanta's kind of small, right, in the backcourt, Young and Murray. So. But, like, that feels like a tell that, like, okay, maybe Maxey's not playing.
Yeah, you don't think it's going to be Campaign, Buddy, Oubre, Tobias, and Reed? Am I missing someone?
That's what I'm saying. I think it's either one of two things. Either Maxey if Maxi's playing and Oubre's not starting, or Maxi's not playing, right? If we're doing the math there, that's what makes sense.
I think it's basically saying that this is what's happening if Maxey doesn't play, and it looks like right now Maxey isn't going to play.
And he says there's a good chance of that happening, although, wait for it, the update for Tyrese Maxey, he's a game-time decision because the Sixers suck as far as giving us updates. But, okay. So, and how much does Payne play? He's 3'8". Interesting. Like, we had Hield starting, and they're not very deep, right? They have 11 players, and that includes Ricky Council, not the third or the second, the fourth. Kenneth Lofton Jr., Bamba, Campaign. Well, I guess Campaign's going to start. No, they would be down to 10 if Maxey doesn't go. Huh. And then Smith would get some run off the bench. Yeah, what do you got?
Kenneth Lofton Jr. is not, I repeat, he is not the son of Kenny Lofton, the Cleveland Indians center fielder.
I don't know. Did anybody think that was the case? I guess people did think that was the case. Right?
How could you not think
different build?
I can't believe people were getting on you yesterday about Jameson, Antoine Jameson's brother.
Crazy, man.
You should have said his son. That was more believable that it was Antoine Jameson's son when you consider the timeline. But I don't think in any way is he related to Jameson.
Paul Reed's in the doghouse too, but so Bamba's probably going to get some minutes.
I think he was just ill, right? Was there coaches quotes? I think he was just not feeling well, and he was just kind of playing through stuff. I don't think he was, unless you have a quote that I missed.
You know, there's a lot of stuff going around right now. I've been sick for the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, and then Philadelphia specifically, they've had some stuff going around as well. So it feels like it's hitting their locker room and like stench on the court too. They have not been great. Turns out the absence of Embiid does matter. Trey looks great. Trey looks phenomenal. I like him as a big spend. Giannis is an awesome big spend. Certainly Joker, but Tatum looks great. But the only thing that can keep him down probably is the scoreboard. If they just absolutely shellac the Wizards, which they're 18-point favorites right now, it's not comfortable on the Washington side. I don't like laying that kind of number, but just sort of thinking about that out loud. By the way, the squad ride, today's squad ride has to do with Trae Young. If you want to jump on the squad, it was my job to pick the squad pick last night. We had a W, Florida Panthers winning on the puck line. Shout out to Tasteful Tots, Tim. He's the one that wrote that one up on Scores and Odds. And today I took the Luchas pick. We have Trae Young over on points. So hopefully we keep that streak alive. Check out the squad ride. Chop, anything else we should say here as far as Atlanta, Philadelphia? But this feels like I can't skip this game. But this game is too good. It's a game stack. I'm going to get pieces.
You say Trae Young 25.5 points, Dean? Is that what you said?
I think it's 25.5. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what the number was.
I'll get it on that. I get it.
Over. So this is what's going to happen. So I was the only one the other night to play Steph Curry on his worst game I've ever seen anyone play.
13 fantasy points.
Yeah, it was. And Jaden Springer now is a Celtic. Locked him down. Looked like he was.
Yeah.
The best defender in the league. And then they traded him to my Celtics, which was just, what a nice trade. I thought that was.
One of their big competitors. It doesn't make any sense.
I think the Celtics have made two incredibly underrated, really strong moves to strengthen up their roster for nothing for this playoffs.
Well, Tillman's still hurting. We don't know when he's coming back, but theoretically, if he's usable in the playoffs as
but he's able to guard the bigs. So he's a body to guard some of the bigs. He can guard some Giannis. He can guard, some people we're gonna have to get into. So I think he just provides a little depth behind Porzingis.
There are people out there who are touting the Knicks as the Eastern Conference. That's just some people out there. I'm not on that ship right there, but there are some people who
they improve, but I don't think they're. And also, health is going to be a thing too. Obviously, we'll see how they are in the season. Tibbs really rides his guys, and the other point is I was talking about yesterday, and it's the obvious point is they don't get much better in the playoffs because in the regular season they get everything out of their bodies. Their best players are playing 37, 38 minutes, and the studs. Tatum's not doing that every single night, but he's going to play 39, 40. So Boston gets incrementally better. New York, not really. So, all right. stay tuned on that. You probably can
So
get a pretty
what I'm
good
saying,
number.
so Trey is going to go off tonight, and they're going to realize how dumb they were for getting rid of Springer.
Yeah, and also trading Pat-Bev to Milwaukee. Like you're trading like these players to your rivals. If you really think you're doing something, and then why do you trade for Buddy Hield? That's like a mixed message. Didn't really make any sense. But
I think the Bucks realized they messed up by getting rid of Holiday and bringing in Dame.
Yeah, and Coach Bud. I think that was a mistake too. But that's another conversation. Washington taking on the Celtics. 236 is a total. Celtics again. This is a scheduled blowout. About an 18-point line. Getting some news here on the Twitter. Anything worth noting right now? No, not really. Okay. We have Tatum officially in for Boston. So that means they are fully healthy with the exception of the players he has traded for. No Jaden Springer, no Tillman. Holiday should be good to go as well. It is an island game for Boston, so they tend to do their like sitting of guys, resting of players during that sort of a scenario. So Horford should be good to go as well. Washington, again, no Bagley on the inside, no Rashawn Holmes on the inside. I don't think there's a chance he plays, right? He's officially not happening, right? They traded for Rashawn Holmes, which is kind of funny. Baldwin also out. Liver is also out. And this is why we're getting Omar Rui. Chalk Omar Rui, we're projecting him to start. I think he's kind of fine, even if he comes off the bench. Boston side here, Chop, like, you know, what's the analysis here? Like, the matchup is awesome. I love Porzingis. I really like Tatum. I'm fine with Brown and White, okay with Holiday. If you want to play the blowout angle, you can consider some Pritchard or Hauser or something like that. I don't know how Washington hangs here. They certainly can. What is your assessment?
Let me see, Dean. I'm looking for something to pair with Trae Young here. So I'm going to take the Amin Thompson double-double prop, Dean. I'm going to take Amin Thompson to get a double-double.
No, take Paul Reed stuff, man. Paul Reed stuff. And,
he got okay.
You're an adult, make your own choices. But I'm not against Amin Thompson either. I like him too.
Chop, I'd be careful who you're listening to. That's all I'm saying.
No, I got the jinx on there, the mush. All right, yeah, we'll do that one. All right, yeah, I'm with Kirk on this one. This is Omarari. Eugene, he's bad. I'm not.
So like, here's what I'm thinking, Chop. Like, let's say he starts or he's playing significant minutes. He's going to be against like really solid players, and they still have Trey, they still have, you know, Jalen Johnson. He's going to be like the last option. You know what I mean? And so it's like,
wait, who are you talking about? Omar Rui's on the Wizards.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I went down the wrong path. Same exact thing. So he's going to be. I was thinking of
what he's saying, though. You know, Dean, this is
not really because like
that was completely fine.
Trey Young and Tyus Jones are not the same player.
I was thinking of Conley for a second.
Same
thing. It's gonna be Kuzma. It's gonna be Avdia. They don't have a big, you know. So
yeah, I mean, people are playing him. This is when bad chalk when he gets to be bad chalk. I mean, watch this guy go off and make me look stupid, but
he's smashed in his limited time. I'll just tell you that.
Bad chalk is when a guy who does like there is such a massive floor on him. Like it could be a 5-point game and he's a cook. Like I don't want a super popular guy this chalky against the best defense in the NBA when he still has shooters and gunners on his team to take away from him. Like that just seems like a bad recipe. This is not like last night when you had the Miles McBride or something like that.
Yeah, you don't have a team full of scrubs, right? Like where they all can have their chance. You still have.
This is bad.
You still got Kuzma, you got Avdia, you got Jones, you got Poole.
So I'm all.
I just want to make sure you're saying Washington, the Wizards are not a bunch of scrubs. Is that
they are, but it's not as bad as like Memphis. You know what I mean? It's not as bad as like the whole
the Knicks last night when you had all yeah. So. No Washington guys for me, Dean. And I mean, it would be hard to sit here and pick out a Boston guy. One of these guys might go off, but this is a total blowout waiting to happen. And these guys aren't playing more than 30 minutes probably. So, man, it's tough to. But like you said, Porzingis earlier, Porzingis is the guy. If I was going to narrow it down to one, it's Porzingis. But this is a tough game for me. I might stay away from this game.
I also want to add, by the way, Omar Rui, if he starts, and he might not start, he might have one of those. He might be one of those guys that starts and has a path to mop up. Like if this game gets ugly, they still might bring him back because why not? And there isn't much else anyway. I understand he's got a huge ownership number, but I think
if he's on the winning lineup tonight,
yeah,
I will streak Fenway Park opening day.
What? No.
I will go streaking on Fenway
Man,
Park.
I'm rooting for him now.
Why?
What?
Do you have tickets to opening day at Fenway Park? You got to buy tickets if this happens.
I will get tickets.
Okay. All right. This could be a bad thing, but it's good for content if nothing else. Producer Steve said he clipped it, so he's going to clip this, and we'll be showing this later. Let's see. According to RotoGrinders, let's see. What do we have the chances of it being in the opto? So,
I've always wanted to. It's a win-win for me. I've always wanted to.
According to RotoGrinders right now, our optimizer percent, the chances it's in the optimizer, Omaruri, 40.4%, meaning there's a 40% chance you'll be streaking at Fenway on opening day. Are you prepared for this, Kirk?
What's the weather? What temperature is it in Boston?
It's gonna be cold opening night.
Oof, you know what? I normally don't root for in-game injuries, but I'll probably be rooting for one tonight.
You got like 30 seconds to officially retract if you want to retract. That way, but all right. That's now I'm definitely rooting for Omaruri. Tyrese Maxey not going through pregame warmups as usual. Yeah, like it certainly feels like he's not playing. We'll see. The news flow is suggesting it just doesn't make any sense. The news we've gotten so far that he plays tonight. But okay. So we're just thinking Boston blows it out, and that's that. All right. I hear what you're saying, Chop. But I'm going to play some Omaruri. I'm leaning in. Kispert has had its moments as well. Brandon in chat said he just purchased the MLB package. There you go. All right. So Kirkwood, yeah, by all means, we're going to hold you to it. Anything else here as far as Boston and Washington, Kirkwood, or shall we move on?
I mean, you know who I actually kind of like? So first of all, Derek White is. I mean, you got to like Derek White. So he gets the biggest usage increase with Tatum out if Tatum sits.
He's
in. He is. Sorry, I just missed that news. That's too bad. All right, forget it. But he'd have the matchup with Jordan Poole on him.
Bobby Gomes.
Kirko, you've had a dynamite 5 minutes here. We just flipped the last 5
Bobby
minutes.
Gomes going in on
I got
you,
it. What's Bobby saying?
He says the weather won't matter for you. If it catches drift.
The problem is I'm not a shower or a grower. That's the only problem here.
All right, moving on. Let's see. Houston. It's Chop's team. We got Kirkwood's team, and now we have Chop's team. The Rockets, they take on the Raptors. 234 is the total. Pretty high. Definitely tight, right? Toronto just a 1-point favorite here. As far as what we're waiting on or who's in and who's out, FVV, Freddie VanVleet is still out. Tari Eason still out. Coming back soon, allegedly. We got a probable tag for Jonte Porter for what it's worth. We don't know about Kelly O and Agbaji. They just got they acquired them from Utah. I think it's more likely than not they don't play. And I was reading the conversation with those that do the projections and stuff, and I think they had them projected out. I'm just going to go ahead and confirm this. By the way, speaking of reading content, I was reading the expert survey, and shout out to Keith Eister. This is a nugget from him. The Raptors defense continues to rank near the bottom of the league since trading away OG Anunoby and Pascal Siakam. Only the Detroit Pistons have a worse defensive rating than the Raptors since January 1st. So over a month and change, Toronto has been the worst defensive team in basketball, assuming Detroit's not in basketball. They are, but not really. Only in name. They do something. I don't know if it's basketball. But Chop, talk to me about your Rockets. It sounds like you like Simon Thompson as well as the rest of the world.
This is pretty good chalk. Even though you wish the salary, but the DraftKings didn't adjust for it, so we're still at 5,300. This is pretty good chalk right here. This he can stuff like everything, a few points, but rebounding, assists. He can grab a double-double with either one of those categories. He gets you some steals or some blocks. He's a good defensive player for his age. So, yeah, that's pretty good chalk. And then, Toronto, like you said, is a bad team defensively. So Şengün is in play. Jabari's capable of the double-double when he gets his mind into the game. And Dylan Brooks is getting an uptick with Fred VanVleet out. And I think with Eason out and Fred VanVleet out, I'm always going to play some Cam Whitmore in GPPs because you just never know about that guy. He can be explosive. And Jalen Green, I saw him in some optimals earlier. I don't know if he's still there, but he's got a path there. He's been much better lately. So I think any combination of these Rockets with a lock button of Amen Thompson is pretty good. And on the Raptors side, I don't mind running it back. Emmanuel quickly is jumping out to me, but Scotty Barnes could be fine. Pirtle, fine. So, but yeah, it's really the Rockets here. And Rockets with quickly on the run back really stand out.
Yeah, I like quickly in theory. I don't love that Brooks is probably going to be the guy defending him. Dylan is sort of a tough cover, but in theory, I think quickly is fine. The price is pretty good too. And Michael pointing out in chat, the Pistons are on a win streak. Wow. They've won 25% of their games in their last 2 games. They're now 8-43. They're on a 2-game win streak. They take on LA next. That's probably not going to end well. But yeah, the Pistons, I think, still are number 1 in the tank.
I wanted to bet them last night, and I saw the score, and I was like, oh, thank God I didn't bet them first half. And
Simon's got hurt for Portland, I think, which didn't help. But yeah, what a mess that game was. What Jalen Duren has those ceiling games, and you just knew he was going to have it against Portland. He put up like 25 and 18 or something silly like that. He just fully smashed. What do you got here, Kirk? As far as
Kelly's playing. So I agree with Chop. I think Amen Thompson is great chalk. I think this is a really strong game. To add to Eister's stat, over the last 10 games, they're the 4th worst defensive rating. So they're bad regardless. But so I think you can play a lot of games. I like his Whitmore call because he's coming along. But I mean, the guy who's been going off for the most part recently has been Jalen Green, like Chop said. So I like that. Şengün let me down the other night, but I realized it was my mistake. He just got paced out against the Pacers. But I think so. With the way that Toronto's playing, I think this is a better spot for him.
Pirtle's a good matchup, I think, for him. He's just more.
Yeah, I think this game exactly. I think there's gonna he's not going to get run off the court in this game, and it's not going to be just a bunch of guys going back and forth, him being behind. So with him and Pirtle, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for both of them. Houston plays pretty slow.
How much do we think Kelly and Agbaji play? Probably not enough to matter, right? I wouldn't think they play too much. They weren't projected in. By the way, new projections are up, and also I just ran the old optimal, and man, it is chalky. 4 players are coming in at least 60% of my DK, my DK stuff, and I cap it at 70%. Campaign at 69%. He's 3.8 and projected for 33 DK points. That looks really, really good. It's probably tough to put a projection on him just because, again, he's brand new to the team. But did we rule? We must have ruled Maxey out, right? Is that what happened here? Was there a preemptive strike? There was a preemptive strike. They're assuming Maxey's out.
He's not on the court for warm-ups.
It makes sense. It makes sense that Maxey's not going to. He's not officially out, but this stuff will change if Maxey's in, but it doesn't seem like he's going to play.
If he plays tonight,
yeah, what are you going to do now?
I will go streaking.
You're going to go to a Bass Pro Shop
at a Boston Celtics game. Okay.
You're going to be like the notorious streaker. You're going to get a run there. You're going to get a reputation in Boston. Yeah. So we are projecting Maxey out. And because of that, Campaign is hitting stuff hard. Amen Thompson still absolutely hitting optimals. Omaruri and Buddy Hield, Chops boy, Buddy Hield is hitting optimals. Man, all 4 of those guys are smashing optimals. Interesting. And you guys were adamantly against Omaruri as far as the ownership stuff. Do we like Buddy Hield, Chop? He's got to make his threes. He'll be on the court theoretically for a lot, but
yeah, man, I don't know.
Got to make his threes.
That's a tough one. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Is he's based on his outside shooting, and that's just becomes strictly a GPP kind of guy when you have to hit your 3-point shots to have a fantasy impact. So same thing with Campaign in terms of new guy, new team. And now you're throwing them in there? No way can I think it's probably sides closer to bad chalk than good chalk, to be honest with you.
Yeah, as a general rule, it's a general rule, but I do not like playing the super chalky player that has to score points. And, just I don't like that. I like the guy that has multiple routes, the guy that can end up scoring like 13 points and still get there. And that's sort of what Hield's got to score. He's got to score at least like 17 or 18, something like that. But he'll certainly have the opportunity as well because of how thin we're expecting Philadelphia to be. Chop, did you have an official take on Şengün? I think you mentioned him in passing as a stud. Like, we're talking about studs. Where does he rank? Is he somebody you're prioritizing? But
No.
the problem with Şengün is, like, I love the centers in the mid-tier. I love Okongwu and Reed. So I don't know if I'm getting to him.
He's over 9K on both sides, so he's not a priority necessarily, but he can be an absolute smash tonight, Dean. But the chat has a great question. They want to know how many times you watched the Drake video.
I haven't seen it. I don't know.
Come on.
Oh yeah,
come on.
No, I mean, like,
on,
I saw people talking about it. I didn't know it was a video. I thought it was a photo, but I have not.
It didn't hit your feed.
No,
So
it wasn't on my
made
For You.
I'm sure the algorum picks up on your stuff, Dean, and that was
Because
like a For You right there popped up about 10 times.
Normally, if you see
seen
Drake,
it.
a Drake video, you're thinking gambling, right? Like, don't you see a lot of that like on our feed? So I would think you would click onto that.
I would tell you if I've seen it. I've not
It
seen
got
it.
me. It got me. It got me. I'm not gonna lie. I saw it. I didn't want to see it. I didn't, but I saw it. And
Yeah,
he should. And let's be fair. And I'll be fair. He should be the one going streaking, not me. But
all right. Let's do one more game before we knock out the giveaway. If you guys aren't aware, if you're joining us late, middle of the show, you can get yourself a week free of RotoGrinders Premium. You're looking at the lineup HQ on the screen and say, how do I get to use that at my own leisure? Well, you can pay for it. That's an easy way to do it. Sure, by all means, sign up and get yourself some premium. Or you can win yourself some premium. And how can you do that? Go to the RotoGrinders Discord, rotogrinders.com/Discord. Go to the live stream chat channel. Producer Steve, he sets something up where you just click the RG logo and he will throw your name on the imaginary wheel. Well, it's a real wheel. You'll see it. It's going to be coming up soon. He's going to spin it. If your name pops up, you get yourself a week free. And depending on how many likes we have, we might give away 2 individual weeks in total. Let's hit that like button. Yeah, let's hit the like button, smash it, caress it, whatever your adjective of choice happens to be. Smash the like button. Help us keep the lights on. One more game before we do the giveaway and knock out the early assessment. The early 4 games, 2 games in the late end, 10 o'clock, 10:30. Let's knock out the 8 o'clock game. That is the Hornets, another scheduled blowout, right? Maybe leaning into game stacks is an interesting thought process tonight because of the potential blowouts. 227.5 is the total. The Hornets, they are dreadful. They are 14-point dogs against the Bucks, who've been playing dreadful of late, but this is the old get-right spot. Giannis should be good to go. There's no Middleton. Lillard is also questionable. The usage for Giannis should be outrageous. They got walloped and embarrassed last night. Crowder is good to go in the back-to-back. Pat Bev also available to play for Milwaukee. We are expecting him to come off the bench with Lillard starting, Beasley, Crowder, Giannis, and Brookie Lopez. Shout out to him and his new child. All right. We've alluded to a couple times here, Kirkwood. It feels like Giannis is going to annihilate whatever's left of the Hornets. I should have said Cody Martin available to play. They traded for Grant Williams. They traded for Seth Curry. Those guys are not available. Trey Mann also not available. Trey Mann, by the way, that's the guy to keep an eye on for DFS purposes, for season-long purposes. I picked him up in one of my season-long leagues. I think he's a guy that's going to have an opportunity here. Not playing tonight, so we don't care. LaMelo is out, and again, there's rumors that they might shut him down for the entire season because the Hornets, wait for it, are a terrible organization. All right, Kirkwood, Charlotte, Milwaukee, what do you got?
Man, Jay Crowder went off last night, but I don't really have a problem going back to him because I just think the minutes are going to have to be there if everything works out the way I expect it to. I think, like I said, I think Giannis is going to absolutely just take this game over. So it may be 3/4 of Giannis. It may be that this is a competitive game by the way Milwaukee's been playing lately. I mean, Charlotte is really, really, really bad. But the good thing is we know who's going to be taking all their shots. And some of those, Bridges is a productive player, and Brandon Miller is El Fuego, and he's looking like the real deal. I've been on him all since day one. I always thought he was going to be really good, and
he's going to be good.
Coming in. He's coming into his own, so I'm really happy to see that. I know Chop was big on him too. So I think, like, I'm not only other guy I think Cody Martin's fine, but there's a minutes cap there, so he's going to have to do what he did the last game to really make some noise. But I think, 24% usage is still very encouraging. Maybe he gets 30 minutes, maybe he gets 2 extra minutes in this game, maybe not, but I think he can still produce. And then the flyer out there on the Hornet side, I would do Nick Smith, just because I think when he does get on the court, and this may be a game where he has to, that he's a chucker. So, and he's capable of knocking, it's going to be shot dependent for the most part, but he can be he can get some fantasy points. So I'm in. I'm out on Leaky Black. But on the other side, it's Giannis and Crowder. I think Brook Lopez could destroy. It's always centers against Charlotte, but this is, without PJ Washington too. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Hello,
Dean, you're on mute, man. God,
I was like, did I just say that whole thing on mute?
No, I was just saying Lopez is not a traditional center. He just sort of meanders on the outside. But I still like him. Like, I like him fine.
So,
but
like Nick Richards is going to be like holding down the center. He'll be lighting it up from 3 in this spot.
Only 10 guys available for Charlotte is according to my count. You mentioned Smith. He's certainly blowout proof. If this game gets ugly, he would mop up. And I think he's an interesting flyer. I don't mind that. Probably the best flyers on the Charlotte side. I would play him over Leaky Black, like you suggested there, Kirk. But I think he's got more of an upside. Jump in here, Chop. Your thoughts as far as Charlotte, Milwaukee, and how much we prioritizing Giannis as a big spend?
Dean, I would play you over Leaky Black. He's terrible.
No.
He's always been bad. He's always been
Shavelton greater than Black. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, this guy is just a defensive specialist. So that's all. You don't play those guys as chalk. If he was chalk, but I'm not playing.
My usage in basketball is not. You don't want me. I'm not. I was never really good at basketball. I was more of like a team guy and just a grinder, basically. I tore my ACL playing basketball. I barely played since, but thank you. I do appreciate
you in CSU. You in CSU.
Oh, wow.
I think he had the Achilles, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. But the ACL just the same.
Yeah, Giannis is a fine spend up. It's going to be a blowout, but by the time he gets benched, it'll be like he'll put up so many points, it'll be ridiculous. So he's fine. The other Bucks, Jay Crowder, like Kirky mentioned, Jay Crowder still got that good price tag, and he's going to put up numbers as long as Middleton's out, so that's fine. Brandon Miller, a good play.
We think Willard plays tonight, and if he does, are we interested?
Yeah, I think he'll play, and I am not quite interested, although at some point he will get it together. He'll start putting up some good numbers under Doc Rivers, but I don't know. Not tonight. It's not going to be.
This is a spot to do it, in theory, like assuming he's fine.
Yeah, but he's not. He's probably not fine though. So if he
plays, Giannis is going to take this. Watch. He's going to take He's just going to take the ball and go the length of the court every single play. He's not even. He won't pass in this game.
Yeah.
I was being hyperbolic, but I really think he can score 50 points in this game.
That's what he does against these kind of.
Oh, Giannis.
Opponents.
Yeah, I think. Assuming that the game.
I think he could have 50. I think he's going to have. He could have 50 fantasy points at halftime.
What is his number?
There you go.
What is his number as far as the books? Like 33, or it's probably not up because of the lower thing. Do we have a number for Giannis?
He got taken out yesterday. Like they just threw the flag, and he was sitting on the bench stewing all that game, knowing that he's got to come out big today.
Then
32 and a half, 33 and a half, depending on.
He's got to sit on the bench in blowouts, and he's got to watch his brother just lumber around the floor. It's just embarrassing. So,
you know what pissed me off? They get rid of Robin Lopez. Why didn't they get rid of Giannis's brother too?
Did you see Robin Lopez at the game reading a book? That was the most amazing thing I ever saw. He was traded, and I guess he just stuck around. I don't know.
Else?
Maybe
what are you gonna do? Go make a big thing about it?
He's sitting in the front row, reading a book at a basketball. It was amazing. I just thought,
Dinwiddie went to the Knicks game.
I didn't see that, By the way, Oscar in chat is telling us Giannis is a bad play. Come on, guys. Y'all said the same thing yesterday. So, like, Giannis wasn't good yesterday, so we can't play him today. Is that what's happening? Is that the rules? Bobby said they kept Robin Lopez? I thought Robin Lopez was traded.
Maybe they.
Bobby's throwing us off. Come on, Bobby. Try and keep up. But, so according to Oscar, this is the counterpoint here, Chop. He was Giannis had a bad game.
No.
Play him today.
Oscar, Giannis, bad play. Come on, guy. Y'all said. I said yesterday that Anthony Edwards was a great play in that game, and he was a pretty darn good play. I don't think I ever mentioned Giannis as a Giannis.
I played some Giannis. I'll take the fall for. I thought Giannis was good without Lillard and Middleton. That's on me. My bad.
No, I mean I was on Edwards. I don't think I ever remembered saying that Giannis was this great play yesterday against Minnesota. But
I watched the show, Chop, and you were the only one that didn't mention him.
There you go. Somebody watched.
Got anything else here? Milwaukee and Charlotte. Anything else we should say, or shall we bring in producer Steve to give away some RG Premium? There
you go.
You by association, Chop, though you get some shrapnel because the rest of us were talking about playing some Giannis. At least I was, because I thought it was a phenomenal play. And you know what? I'm going to be back. Are we giving away 1 week or 2 weeks there, Steve? Because did we get enough likes to give away 2 weeks or no?
Can you tell me what the likes are at? My screen isn't showing it.
All right. So let's give away 2, I suppose. Do you want to get in an exacta here, Kirkwood, before we spin the wheel?
The likes don't look strong on my computer, but
not high enough. So it's just you're saying just give away 1 week. Is that what you're saying, Kirkwood? You're not.
How many did we need? How many did we need?
We didn't really set a number.
Well, I'm a man of the people, so give them 2. Give them 2.
All right, we could do 2. All right, let's shuffle it up. And here comes the first one.
I got the green-blue Quinella. Green-blue Quinella. Green? That's green.
Wow.
All right. Come on, blue. Should I hedge?
All right.
Should I hedge out and get some red just in case?
All right. Who wants to bet me on a
green
spin?
blue? Green blue? We did it. Pay paper.
True north. All right. Congratulations, guys. I'll shoot you a message in the Discord.
We do these on Friday, almost always, every single Friday, usually around 6 o'clock or so on the East Coast. Again, if y'all are showing up late, if you didn't participate, next time, get in. RotoGrinders.com/Discord, jump on the live stream chat channel and just click the emblem under producer Steve's note. True North is saying in chat that it was rigged and True North won. So, okay, maybe we should spin it again and throw it away. And Bobby's right. That was lacking the music. We didn't get the music for that one. Maybe next time we'll rock out to some music. We have 2 more games to get to. Crunch time on layaway coming in about 15 minutes or so. Let's talk about Denver. Denver and Sacramento. 232 is the total. Sacramento 3-point favorite here versus Denver. I believe Denver is on the back half of a back-to-back. Jamal Murray should be good to go with his leg. He also was messing with his shoulder, but I guess he's fine. KCP's got a hamstring. He is questionable, did not play last game. Who started for him last game? Justin Holiday started. He did not close. The closer was Peyton Watson. He was the biggest benefactor in the absence of KCP. We'll see if he plays tonight, but probably seems a little bit less likely than questionable, but he's officially questionable. For Sacramento, they are fully healthy and good to go against Denver. Kirkwood, you are starting first. You're leading us off. I think Joker's kind of ignored in this slate to some degree, at least for a 5-gamer, as is Sabonis. Like both the big boy centers here in this game, I don't think are going to get a huge number, relatively speaking, when it comes to ownership. You tell me, where are you at as far as Denver, Sacramento?
I mean, do we smell a rat on this line or what?
You think somebody's sitting for Denver?
No, I just don't get the line.
Back-to-back for Denver? Travel?
Yeah, back-to-back, tough matchup with the Lakers. I get that. Travel is not much of a concern. It just, I mean, in Sacramento is so bad. I mean, I maybe could expect a big bounce back because they're coming off of that horrendous loss when they to the Pistons. I don't know, it just smells fishy to me. But as far as plays go, I mean, yeah, Joker is absolutely being overlooked on this slate. Jamal Murray.
By the
you have
way,
to worry about
Maxey, I don't want to cut you off, but Maxey and Murray both officially ruled out. We expected Maxey to be out. Hey, if you got that the Trae Young, your Trae Young bet probably looks pretty good too. The absence of Murray, couple more shots. Get some overs really quickly. You got about a 6-second window, and it's closed. But yeah, as we suspected, Maxey not playing tonight, and now Murray not playing for Atlanta. We'll discuss anything that else breaks as far as the Atlanta side, if anything else pops. But didn't mean to cut you off, Kirkwood. Just want to get that information out there. Feel free to continue on Sacramento and Denver.
I think Malik Monk is a really strong play. Massive game. The other, he just has that ceiling, and they'll let him rip in the second half when if he's shooting well. I think, you play one of him, Herter or Monk, Red Velvet. You do not play them together. Fox has just not been good. Fox has been bad.
He's hurting, I think.
Yeah, I think he's there. He's a little bit worn out, but they've had a little bit of a break here. But yeah, I don't know. That's all I mean, Murray should absolutely light this team up, but I'm a little worried about his shoulder. The Kings are 26 and opponent threes. Like he should just, so maybe it could be a big night for him or Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah, I guess. Nobody's playing MPJ for the record. Just he's going to be unowned. Certainly you can play him. I like your rule in the Kings. We talked about that the other day as far as the Monk Herter situation. Probably can't play them both. I guess you can because they're cheap enough and they both kind of get there, but most likely only one of them would close. The Fox thing is like I'm kind of off him just in general for the last so many weeks just because I feel like he's dealing with something. He hasn't been great. Sabonis is awesome, but like there's a lot of big spends in this slate. I don't really love him in this spot, but certainly he's got a chance to get that triple dub. We might see 2 triple doubles from both the centers in this game. That is live as well. Patty Mills and Wesley Matthews are ruled out. That really shouldn't matter, but Atlanta is. They would need somebody to fill those. I'm trying to think who else they actually have. They'll be down to 10 bodies. Wait, less because I think down to 9. I think Atlanta's down to 9 with Young, Bogdanovich, Bay, Jalen Johnson, Okongwu, Hunter, Fernando, and Hunter. I think is still on that minutes limit too. Gary Bird, Garrison Matthews, and AJ Griffin. If Mills is out, so they might have 9 players here, and Philadelphia has 10. 9 versus 10. Just this feels like a game that happens in March. And it's a 246 total, and it's high, and it's tight as well. Man, Atlanta Philly is like the super, super obvious game stack. Not to jump.
I wanted to. Sorry, since we're back on this, I never mentioned. I think it's a really good spot for Buddy Hield, even though I know Chop didn't want to play him, but Atlanta is so bad at giving up threes, and he's just gonna. He doesn't have to do much. He doesn't have to know any crazy offensive schemes. He's just gonna have to sit on the outside, and they're gonna have to dish him the ball, and he's gonna chuck it up. So, I think him being shooting guard is gonna help his cause, and I think he's gonna light it up in his first game, and then he's gonna be terrible from there on out.
In the chat, A Buff is saying Bird is out. I don't believe so. Garrison Matthews is healthy. He saw Matthews. Wesley Matthews is out. Maybe that's what you're thinking there. I don't know what the deal with Trent Forrest is. That's a good name to throw out there. Is he in the G League or something? Because I don't see him on the roster. Okay. Didn't mean to derail that stuff. Chop, jump in here. Your thoughts as far as Denver, Sacramento.
Yeah, I don't know, Dean. I don't know. You're running down everybody on the roster. I don't know, Dean.
On Denver, Sacramento? I'm running everybody down?
No, you're giving me all 10 players from Atlanta and Philly. And
that's important for the slate. We had to go back for a second.
There's probably about 5 or 6 that matter, Dean. I don't care about the 9th and 10th guys off the bench.
They matter more the less bodies that are on the bench.
Do you even know how NBA rosters work, Dean? Like,
what do you mean?
Can they call a guy up right now and have him come play tonight? Like, do we even know any of that? No, Dean.
If they're
give it a rest, Dean. Just give it a.
They're on the road.
Just give it a rest.
Atlanta's on the road, so they're G League.
They don't have private jets in the NBA. They can't fly a guy in the NBA on a private jet if they need to.
The game starts in an hour. How fast do you think private jets go?
Relax, Dean. Just relax with the rosters, man. We don't need it. We don't need it right now. I'm gonna give you the breakdown on this Denver game, Dean, because this is one of the late night hammers. Malik Monk. That's where you're gonna make your money tonight. He's very good. He's on fire. I like Malik Monk. I'll pass on Herder, pass on this guy. Jokic is okay. Jokic versus Sabonis is a lot of times pretty good fantasy-friendly stuff. Jokic actually put up like 80-something points on him the last time they played, so he's definitely – this is in his wheelhouse. Yeah, that's what I'm at. I'm at Jokic, Sabonis, Malik Monk. That's about it.
All right. Anything else here we should touch? How much you prioritize that though, Chop? Like, did you play Jokic in like your single entry lineup?
I don't know, Dean. It depends. How many guys are available for Denver tonight? 11 or 12?
Well, Chop, you're pretending like Atlanta only having 9 or 10 guys. It's going to squeeze that rotation, and also Hunter's like a half a player, right? How many minutes can he actually play?
I think it matters. I think it matters analyzing all that. It matters when it's like when you're down to the Knicks like last night, when you're really scraping the barrel and you can barely put 5 or 6 guys out there.
That's where Atlanta's at. Basically,
you rattled off like 9 or 10 guys.
Yeah, but
those guys,
Garrison Matthews is one of those guys. It's 9.
Those last,
and we're looking at AJ Griffin, who they hate. Hunter, who they can only pay him so many minutes.
Yeah, I don't. Let me look up here and see where we're. What's the value tonight? What are we at with? Oh, Amin Thompson's out there. Like,
I know.
You're talking about Omarui from Washington, who I don't even like. Like, there's too much value to like worry about all that stuff. Play good players. Like play good players.
So 9 players are projected to play for Atlanta, and 5 of them are projected to play at least 34 minutes. That's the point I'm making. They're going to have a really
so we're worried about those 5. Yeah. The 9 is probably pretty standard in the NBA, I would think. I don't think, or even less than that, minus blowouts typically. I don't think guys go 10 deep on a regular NBA game.
Correct, but like they're going to have to force. Basically, the minutes for the starters are really, really solidified. Is the point I was making, unless something really, really goofy happens. And even one of the starters is going to have to mop up if this game gets outrageous, but it shouldn't because Philly's bad too, and this spread is really, really tight. We have the Lakers in New Orleans as the last game, and it's hard to really talk about because, several of the key pieces here are questionable. 233 is the total. Lakers are 3-point dogs here on the back half of a back-to-back against the Pelicans. The Pelicans out there in LA, they just took care of the Clippers. Now they're taking on the lesser of the 2 LA teams. LeBron, Anthony Davis, both officially questionable. Max Christie is doubtful with his ankle. Doesn't really matter, but that just means he's not going to start. And D'Angelo Russell should be good to go with his knee. Some key pieces in New Orleans are questionable. That's Najee Marshall. Of course, Zion at his foot is questionable, as is Jonas Valanciunas. He's got a calf. Kirkwood, what are we doing with this? Because it's a lot of these guys probably end up playing, but I don't know. You tell me.
So I'm seeing that he's doubtful. Zion, I don't know.
Zion's not going to play tonight. Zion is not going to play tonight.
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Because they listed him as doubtful, and then they took the tag off of Trey Murphy. So it just all things point towards Zion.
When did this happen? Did I miss this alert?
Dean,
you were probably too busy looking up 27th man in the G League for
it's
Atlanta.
Injury News 101, Dean. Like, come on.
Where is Zion listed as that? Oh, you guys are screwing with me? What is going on? Where is he doubtful? I don't see that.
The reports.
Do you have a source?
Yeah.
What's the source?
Yeah. The official team
report. Well, I closed my tabs. I have to go look it up again, Dean. But yeah, for sure.
So anyway, here I'll give you my favorite play of the entire slate, and that's Brandon Ingram.
A little revenge spot. I like.
You get the revenge always in play for him, right? You get the pace up spot. You get the worst 3-point defense, the second worst opponent made threes in the league were the Lakers. They're also 26 in opponent steals. This is a game like he's going to have like his hands all over. He's going to be, I think he's got massive upside in the spot. His price is still absolutely reasonable. He's in a groove. He played really well the other night, even though he didn't have a huge fantasy score. He played really well. Zion took over kind of in the second half. I'm expecting Zion to be out. I'm expecting J-Val to be out too, to be honest with you, because he didn't start the second half in that last game. He's been bad. This has been like a season-long type of injury. Maybe he plays, but if I had to lean one way, I think he won't. So and I think after the Lakers losing, they're going to be, I think you can count LeBron and AD to be back in.
By the way, we are projecting Zion in, and we don't project guys that are doubtful in, and we have them as questionable. So I don't know where you have this doubtful at. I don't know if you guys are just like making a joke.
It's tea leaves, Dean. It's tea leaves. My goodness. He is officially questionable.
But you can't say he's doubtful when he's not doubtful. He's officially
But this is the first of back-to-back. He sat out the first of the last back-to-back. And Trey Murphy isn't listed here on the injury report at all now. It's just reading the tea leaves, Dean. I mean, if you want to do your whole roster around thinking Zion is going to be in, then you're doing yourself a disservice for later. I'm just saying I think he's closer to doubtful. Come on, Dean. 101, read the tea leaves.
Consider the options.
They never said Tyrese Maxey was doubtful. They never said Tyrese Maxey was doubtful until he was actually out. But we read the tea leaves and said, well, shit, he's not at shoot around. And he had the bad fish, and he looks bad, and he's not.
That one made sense.
We're reading the tea leaves. We're reading the tea leaves.
We're going to rest Zion against the Lakers and play him against Portland tomorrow. That makes sense.
All right, dude. Anyway, I like Trey Murphy because I think Zion's going to be out in this game. So Trey Murphy gets the biggest bump, and that's what I'll roll.
Where are you?
I'll reserve my
if Zion plays, where are you streaking, Chop?
I'll reserve my spot. Dean, I've got the DMs from you. You'd like it to be at your apartment, but that's not happening anytime soon, buddy. All right. Just kick back.
We got TJ in chats. He should be popping.
Wow. Wait, Chop. Dean DMs me quite a bit too. Is this something I should be worried about?
Jeez, ridiculous.
Do you not feel special anymore that I DM more than one person?
I'm looking at you in a whole new light now here. That's a little might have to block you.
Do you not slide in anybody's DMs, Kirkwood? Is nobody else sliding in yours? Again, I have slid in both your DMs for the record. I've actually DM'd TJ before, and even Taylor and Ross. Everybody on the screen.
Chop and I. Well, actually, I've never even DM'd Chop because we have our own secret chat. But I've never DM'd. I've never TJ. My favorite Saskatoon. Never been in the DMs there. Never been with Roth. Never been with Taylor. Starting to rethink.
Should we ask the Magic 8 Ball if Zion's playing tonight? Will that settle things for us?
We already know. We already know.
I mean, I think it's a ridiculous stand you guys are taking. It made sense the Maxey thing, but
why does Maxey make sense, but this one doesn't? We're just reading tea leaves, Dean.
Because they told us these guys are going to be starting, and it's like, well, who's placing it?
No, this was way before that. We said way before that. You said Maxey looked so bad last game. I don't know if he's going to play this. Yeah, I don't think he's going to play. He's looked so bad, and he had the fish and all this. We were reading the tea leaves.
Like a sick dude.
Yeah, and we were saying, well, we're going to.
Yeah, but you still went on like he was still going to maybe probably play Maxey.
Okay,
you got to consider the options.
Okay. All right. Well, I like to refer. I don't like conflict. I'm very anti-conflict over here. I was thinking we could maybe close the show out with everyone's favorite Super Bowl bet.
Big game.
Everyone's favorite big game bet.
This is hosting 101. Hosting 101.
That's my bad. I didn't say that. That's my bad. It was on Dean's show. If it got said, it wasn't crunch time.
Not at the FanDuel crunch time. Absolutely not. Well,
your favorite big game bet.
Chop, go first.
Chop.
How about let's go with Christian McCaffrey total yards over whatever that number is. I think combined rushing and receiving, he'll get there pretty easy.
Dean?
I bet, I don't know if this line is still there, if it's stale or not, but I bet Brock Purdy under 32.5 pass attempts. I bet that not a couple weeks ago. I bet that like a week ago or so. So under 32.5 pass attempts. I have no clue where the number is now, but that's what I have. So hopefully,
do you think they're winning based on that bet? You think San Francisco's winning?
I think it's going to be a close game, and I bet the other side. So it's a fair point. Maybe I hedged without realizing it.
Yeah,
I got KC just edging him out. Out.
Kirkwood?
I have two. I have Brandon Ayuk under 65.5 receiving yards. And I also have Patrick Mahomes over, I don't remember what I took, over his rushing prop.
I like that. Okay.
I made a mistake, Roth. I need to retract. I do
Please
like
do.
the McCaffrey, but my biggest bet, the one I like the most from props,
Yeah,
I saw it the other day. I don't even know if you can get this.
it's gonna be so dumb. What is it?
No, Roth, shame on you, man.
It's Taylor Swift related.
No. It's the 49ers defense. I saw over 2 sacks as a prop, which means you can't lose unless they get 3 sacks on Mahomes. He just doesn't take sacks.
Oh,
So
okay.
just theoretically, that should be a good bet.
I did think you were coming with some smart-ass Taylor Swift prop there. I was almost certain that some shenanigans were coming. Taylor, you got anything for us?
I did one of the prize picks write-ups today, if that counts. I guess it's different, but over 26.5 or more than 26.5 rushing yards Mahomes. Same as Kirkwood, I guess.
Very good.
Welcome to
TJ?
the squad.
I'm also on that one as well, actually. But my biggest one, my favorite, is Deebo Samuel over 58.5 receiving yards.
Didn't someone say they were under? Oh, no, that was Brandon Ayuk. They were under.
Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah.
I also like the over for Debo's total yards.
I also like the under for Ayuk too. So same page.
My favorite bet, San Francisco leading at the half, but Kansas City wins plus 650 on DK.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
San Francisco's going to come out. They're going to show a little fight, but at the end, Mahomes is going to win it out in a close game. They're going to win plus 650. Get your money down on the big game. That is the money bet.
By the way, Roth, my bet is I got closing line value of nothing else. Under 32.5 Purdy passing attempts. It's 30.5 or 31.5, depending on where you're shopping. So either way, I'm a winner. I either win money or I was sharp enough to get closing line value that dies.
Good job.
Steve, what was your bet? You have a bet there for the people?
I was just joking. I said tails on the coin flip is my favorite bet.
Fair enough.
I remember when we watched with the big game at the RotoGrinders party, the amount of people who had money on the coin flip was insane. It was maybe the biggest reaction of the whole game was the coin flip. People were losing their mind over that. And like
Darius Toney touchdown last year. I remember that was a big one.
Yeah. It was pretty fun.
It's the lowest hold. Like if you want to do that angle, like it's like the best odds. It's like minus 105, depending on where you're shopping. So obviously there's no sharp way of guessing what it is, but everything else you got to lay more juice. So like it's probably a better bet than most of the bets that you're actually putting out there, to be fair. Although they're based on absolutely nothing. But all right, we got to step aside again here.
Wait. Let me add just if you really wanted to gen it up, I've done this before 1 year. I did every single bet I made was parlayed with tails on the coin toss. So you either you're getting a huge, your night's over on the coin toss or not right then and there.
Did you hit it when you did it?
I did. I hit it. I was live and I still lost money, but.
All right, fair enough. The people in chat, let us know your favorite bet as well. I see they're loading them up. Myself and Chop and Kirkwood. We're going to step aside. We do appreciate y'all watching the first portion. You got the FanDuel sponsor portion of Crunch Time with Taylor Smith. It's the Taylors. Taylor Smith, Taylor J. Zwarich, and Kevin Roth. Roth, take it away.
Good stuff. As always, welcome to